today I will introduce about our project, which is service and loading and unloading for car. Okay, basically this topic is cover about the personal experience with the vehicle exterior, item during situation or operation such as opening hood, servicing the car, uh, loading and unloading item from the car, and more. Okay, the space provided technically must be easy to do something about to loading or unloading something from the car. For this project, we will test the time taken for check and top up the lubricant oil in the car. Okay, there will be record during the process of the passenger in the car until the service of the checking lubricant oil end. 10 respondent will be record for 3 type of car, which is Kancil Pro 2, Saga Proton, and Preve Proton. Okay, so procedure 1, we turn off the engine first and find the level of hood, then exit from the car and go in front the hood.
Both hands are on the steering wheel, and then turn off the engine, and then open the door, pull the front hood lever, and then go outside the car and stand in front of the front hood.
In procedure 2, firstly we open hood and locate the lock. Second, we open and stand the hood. Third, we finding the oil stick.
Find the front hood lock opener, and then open the hood and stand the hood. Thirdly, locate the engine oil dipstick.
Okay, for the third procedure, we must check the engine oil level. First, we must pull it out and clean the oil on the dipsticks, and we put it back in the place, and after that we pull it out back and check the engine oil. Okay.
Firstly, pull out the dipstick and then clean up the dipstick. After clean up, put it back into the place, and then take out back to check the oil level.
Procedure 4, sudah need to open the engine oil cap, and then pour some oil lubrication inside the engine, and then close back the engine oil cap.
In procedure 4, we must open the engine oil cap and pour some lubricant oil to refill it. After that, we close it back. Okay.
For the last procedure, we need to check the back. We need to check back the oil level. First, we need to put out the oil level dipstick, and then clean up the dipstick, and then put it back into the place, and then we put out back to check the new engine oil level at the dipstick.
Okay, for procedure 5, we must pull out the engine oil dipstick and clean it up. Put it back in at the place, and after that pull it out back and check the engine oil. After that, we put it back and close the front hood. This discussion we get from the data that we do from the procedure that we have done. Okay. Based on the graph above, it shows that the box plot for all procedure that we have done, which is 5 procedure of the respondent against time in this study. The higher time taken by the respondent is on the procedure 5, which is the blue one. Blue one is the procedure 5, and while the lowest time is procedure 2. But it is slightly different with procedure 1. Procedure 1 is the black blue one. The orange one is procedure 2. The grey one, procedure 3, and the yellow one is procedure 4. Next, this is procedure 1, box plot procedure 1. Based on the box plot above, based on the box plot on the screen, shows that the time taken for each respondent to complete procedure 1. The maximum time by the respondent is 18.8 seconds, while the minimum is 12.2 seconds. But according to the box plot, it seems the most of the respondent can take less time taken to complete procedure 1. It is because during the procedure running, the other respondent can solve each step in this procedure. Most of the respondents already know the location of the front hood level for this car, except for the early respondents that need to find the location of the front hood level first. This situation makes it not fair for the other respondent. Okay, for the procedure 2, based on the box plot above, it shows the time taken for the respondent to complete procedure 2, which is to find the hook lock of this car and locate the dipstick in the engine compartment. From the data above, the maximum time for the respondent is about 17.35 seconds, while the minimum time taken is 11.15 seconds. The difference time taken may occur because every car that has been manufactured has a different position of the hook lock and ways to open the front hood. At the same reason, when open the front hood, respondent need to find the stand to hold the hood. It's quite difficult to pull the stand of the stand to hold the hood. It's quite difficult to pull the stand of this car's hood. Based on the box plot pattern shows that most of the respondent time taken can be considered at the same level. It is easy to locate the location of all dipsticks because it is already labeled by the manufacturer with the layer holder. Based on the box plot, it shows the time taken for 10 respondents to complete procedure 3, which is to check the level of the engine oil. From the data of the box plot above, the maximum time around here, the maximum time taken around here is 26.1 seconds, and the minimum time around here is 19.15 seconds. This difference value may occur because of the dipstick itself. It is easy to pull out, but it takes time to put it in back because it is a flexible long strip metal, so it needs a little force and time to push it back into the engine. Even the difference of the time taken is high. Based on the box plot pattern shows that most of the respondents need more time to check the engine oil level. It may occur because in this procedure, each respondent needs to pull out first to wipe out the oil on the strip metal of the dipsticks and to put it back into the housing. Wait for a few seconds and pull it back and check the engine oil. These procedures are made to get the exact result of the engine oil level. For the procedure 4, this is the box plot for the procedure 4. Based on the box plot, it shows the time taken for 10 respondents to complete procedure 4, which is to open up the oil cap and fill up the engine oil into the engine. From the data of the box plot above, the highest time taken by the respondent is 23.7 seconds. It is around here. And the lowest time is 14.2 seconds here, which is the position of the box plot in the middle shows the most of the respondent took time from 15 to 20 seconds because during this procedure done, to be fair for each respondent, the lubricant oils contained are located at the rear hood of the car. At this situation, respondent took time to get the lubricant oil. This is the reason why the difference is too high. And lastly, for the procedure 5, based on the box plot it shows the time taken for all the 10 respondents to complete procedure 5. In this procedure, respondent need to check again after refill the engine oil as a procedure as we done in the procedure 4. From the data above, shows that the maximum time is 39.4 seconds. It's quite long. And the minimum time by the respondent is 29.4 seconds. It takes more time than the other procedure because after checking the engine oil level on the dipstick, respondent need to close the front hood and back into the car. According to the box plot pattern, it shows the most of the respondent can take less than 40 seconds because respondent already know how to check the engine oil level because it is same procedure as procedure 3. That's all for the saga.
This one is the box plot of the oil procedure. The shortest time for the procedure is procedure 1, and then the longest time taken for the procedure is procedure 4. From the box difference show that the procedure 3 is the longest time taken to complete this procedure. This is because the procedure is quite difficult and take time because the dipstick is need to clean up first before put it back and pull out to check the oil level. Plus the dipstick for previously is thin and make it hard to handle when it's come to put it back in the place. This one is the procedure 1. The shortest time for this procedure is 13.9 seconds, where the longest time is 21.5 seconds. The average time for the procedure is 16.8 seconds. This one is average. The box is queued to the shortest time, where the most of the time taken from each respondent are short. This is because most of the respondents are already know the location of the front hood lever. That make it easier to pull out the lever and get out from the car. This one is the procedure 2. The shortest time taken is 13.5 seconds, while the longest time taken is 20.9 seconds. The average time for this procedure is 17.35 seconds. From the box plot, state that the box is queued to the longest time. This is because it is difficult to locate the location of front hood lock, so it takes much more time to complete the procedure. This one is the box plot for procedure 3. The shortest time taken is 19 seconds, while the longest time is 29.6 seconds. The average time for the procedure is 24.45 seconds. The box is queued slightly to the more time taken record because of the dipstick is left is thin and make it too difficult, so it hard to put it back at the location. This one is the procedure 4. The shortest time taken is 26.3 seconds. The longest time is 13.4 seconds. The average time is 29.11 seconds. From the box show that all the time taken of the respondent are balanced. This is because the oil cap is very easy to locate and open, and that make the plot look balanced. So this one is the last procedure, which is procedure 5. The shortest time taken for this procedure is 22.8 seconds, while the longest time taken for this procedure is 30.2 seconds. The average is 27.28 seconds. This one. The box is skewed to the longest time taken. This because this procedure is quite similar to the procedure 3. The stick strip are too thin and hard to put it back. So this one is ANOVA for pre-vehicle, all the procedure. The standard deviation for procedure is 21,271.289 seconds, while the respondent is 35 second.8922 second. And then for the error is 119.718 second. So total is 1527.9 second. So the DF, the MS, F, P value and F rate.
Hello, I will discuss about the producential data. By referring to table 16, it shows the time taken by the respondent to complete each of the procedure. During this procedure, time respondent is needed to complete procedure 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and the time is recorded. By referring to figure 17, it shows the box plot of all the procedure 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then by looking the box plot, it shows that the procedure 4 is the longest time taken, while the procedure 2 is the shortest time taken. For procedure 2, respondent need to open the front hood and locate the position of the dipstick inside the engine bay, while the procedure 4 is the time taken to open engine oil cap, refill oil and close back the oil cap. For procedure 1, product cancel, all the respondent need to find the location of the front hood lock under the dashboard, pull it to open the front hood lock, the front hood, and then open the door and stand in front of the car. By referring to figure 18, the box plot, it shows that the shortest time is fahmi, is about 22.8 seconds, while qaiyum is the longest, 30.2 seconds. The average time is about 27.28 for all respondents to complete procedure 1. This is because Kancher is the smallest car among the three. The driver compartment and the passenger compartment also small, and qaiyum is the tallest respondent. That's why qaiyum takes longest time to reach the front hood lock under the dashboard. For procedure 2, respondent need to release the front hood lock and stand the front hood, and then locate the position of the dipstick inside the engine. In figure 19, the box plot shows that haziq is the shortest time taken to complete procedure 2. This is about 8.7 seconds, while Aizad is the longest time, about 20.1 seconds, because he had having trouble to unlock the front hood lock. For haziq, he said that he owned a Kanchil before and knows very well about it. That's why he took the shortest time to complete procedure 2. The average time for this procedure 2 is 16.26 based on the box plot above. In procedure 3, all the respondents need to pull out the dipstick, wipe it with the clean towel, put back the dipstick, and lastly pull out to check oil
engine oil level. During this procedure, Aizad takes longest time, that is about 28.7 seconds to complete procedure 3, while afiq is the shortest, it's about 11.9 seconds. The average time for procedure 3 is 21.2 seconds. The average time is small because the dipstick shape is straight and solid metal that is to pull and pull it back straight forward to its place by the user. That's why the time is small. For procedure 4, respondent need to open the oil cap, refill engine oil and close the oil cap. By referring to figure 21, the box plot, it shows that Nasaruddin takes the shortest time to complete procedure 4, while haziq is the longest, 40.4 seconds. This is because during completing the procedure, haziq accidentally poured too much engine oil and caused oil spillage on the rocker cover. Then he need to wipe back the oil spillage he made with clean towel, then close the oil cap. That's why haziq takes the longest time to complete procedure 4. The average from the box plot shows the time taken is about 28.86 seconds to complete by all the respondents. For procedure 5, respondent need to check again the engine oil level and close the front hood to finish the procedure 5. During this procedure, Nasaruddin takes the longest time, about 28.6 seconds to complete procedure 5, while haziq is the shortest, he is about 18.3 seconds. From the box plot in figure 22, the average time can be obtained is about 24.17. This is the average, 24.17 seconds. This is because all the respondents already know the steps and the location of this dipstick inside the engine. That's why the time taken is not to vary from each other by the 10 respondents.
In conclusion, we have achieved our objective, which is we have using 3 different car with 10 of the respondent. Second, we calculate by time of the loading and unloading task by checking the oil lipstick in stage in what we state in discussion. Third, we have developed a methodology for loading and unloading system by starting with the driver sitting on. We have developed a methodology by loading and unloading the system starting from the sitting on the driver's seat until close the hook. And the last, we have a suggestion to improve the experiment by the respondent should be study about the checking oil lipstick to improve the time.
Duhai bunda, duhai ayahanda, dengarlah rayuan anaknya yang jauh di mata. Tanpa ku sedari, air mataku mengalir, terdengar ayat seruan takbir. Betapa